hormonal structure or hormonal propensities by looking at someone's hands, not palm reading, not astrology, actual science called digit index ratio. You can begin to tell the beginnings, but not the end of someone's personality. Testosterone finger, estrogen, digit index ratio. I just tell people, pop your hand up. It's funny. People love it. I do it on dates. I do it with business. So you could tell I'm more of a risk taker. I'm driven more by testosterone and oftentimes dopamine, which means I'm an explorer, novelty. But the main reason I say the 5 fingers is not the end of personality. You network well when you read people.
This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be typing Ty Lopez, okay? We'll be using Linda Barrens Interaction styles and temperament combined with cognitive functions. We will drop a link to our videos of breaking down the cognitive functions and each of her metrics. This is for you, Victor. I'm in my Jeremy Fragrance, aka Victor mode right now. Power. But let's get into it. Let's see what the monkeys over at Personality Database have mass. Okay, they got him as an ENTP, okay? He's already said that he was not an ENFP. The man literally tested himself. So we'll look at it. Okay, we'll look at the metrics, and we'll see what his personality type actually is. We'll look at this chart here, you know. So they got him as ENTP, so he better be pragmatic, okay? ENTPs are initiating, informative, abstract, pragmatic, systematic, TIFE, so we're going to be getting a lot of syllogisms if he's an ENTP. And we'll also get SINE, okay? ENFP, difference between them is you're going to not see syllogisms, okay? You're going to see more affiliative language, more research-based empirical data they're going to be spitting out, because that's more of the TE lens. They're not going to be like, verifying the knowledge, they're going to be like, well, I read this in a study, and 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 then this is a study. So let's see what Ty Lopez is, and comment below what you think Ty Lopez type is. We've been trying to get him on the channel for quite a bit now. So, and guys, we are still doing the free typing sessions by us. I think by far we're the best at doing this. Like I said, it's just not just me. It's usually another person or another person to actually help figure out your type. We listen to you, we take our time, and we give you our analysis. And we don't care about doing, extra session, because at the end of the day, we care about actually learning something and getting something right. And sometimes you may not get that on the first time, but generally speaking, I'm gonna get it on the first time. But all we ask is that you subscribe to the channel. Join our Facebook group or Discord, and message our moderator Cody, and we will set back with an availability with you to get you typed. Like I said, dude, come on, man. It's just too easy for us at this point.
What it is, Brad Lee, back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. By popular demand, everybody freaked out when I had this guy on last time. I said, dude, you got to come back. He's back in Vegas. Ty Lopez in the house.
Thank you. I like talking to you. You're a smart guy.
Well, dude, your post last time got me like, I don't know, 4 or 5 million views, 8 million, might be up to 10 million.
I think it's like 8.5. The crazy thing,
that guy's direct outcome for sure,
is the shares on that tequila thing.
Dude, I wonder why everyone was sharing that. Probably saying, see, that's why I drink tequila.
Exactly. People focus too much on views. Most of the algorithms are starting to switch to shares. TikTok, I think, was the first person to put shares prominently on the side there. And they outsmarted Instagram. Them Chinese were outsmarting the Americans, because shares is more proof that not only is it interesting, but this has viral potential. There's a guy who wrote a book on virality. He's a mentor of mine, and he wrote...
Come on. I hate to say it, but you see it already. He's already quoting the book. My God. Not even 40 seconds in, I hate to be an asshole to Ty Lopez, because I really want to be a fucking straight up ass, right?
Views 8 million, might be up to 10 million.
My mentor.
I think it's like 8.5. The crazy thing is the shares on that tequila thing.
Dude, I wonder why everyone was sharing that. Probably saying, see, that's why I drink tequila.
Exactly. People focus too much on views. Most of the algorithms are starting to switch to shares. TikTok, I think, was the first person to put shares prominently on the side there. And they outsmarted Instagram. Them Chinese were outsmarting the Americans, because shares is more proof that not only is it interesting, but this has viral potential. There's a guy who wrote a book on virality. He's a mentor of mine, and
he's a mentor of mine.
He wrote a book.
I gotta hit him for empirical data there, man. I mean, come on. I'm a TI user, and I don't suck dick that much.
Aegis. And he talks about the 7 steps to try to make anything contagious, or aka viral. Shareability is almost the key that every entrepreneur forgets, because I look sometimes, I saw this girl, she did, I forget what it was, either showed her ass or something like that. It had crazy amount of views, but it had almost no shares. So it wasn't share worthy. So that tequila one that got 250,000 shares. I was with my friend, no joke, in the UK, and I was like, I was on with
TE numbers, 250,000 shares. Come on.
Bradley, we're talking about all this intellectual stuff. I'm thinking I'm smart. The thing that goes the most viral is me just talking about tequila, which is actually logical, because the other thing in Jonah Berger's 7, I think it's 7 steps to virality, is it relatable? Some of the stuff I talk about, me and you talk about.
Another book, where is it, if this and that statements? We're going to be waiting for him.
Oh, you're an entrepreneur and you drop $100,000 on Facebook ads a month. People don't relate to that, so they're not going to share. But the second I say the healthiest drug is tequila, and by the way, if you look at those comments, people are like, you can't fucking have, Ty said there's probiotics. You can't have probiotics in sterile environments like alcohol. Bullshit. Google it. Like I said, tequila, the fermentation process, there's a probiotic effect.
Talking about the process here. So we're going to hit on for progression, process, movement, whatever you want to call it.
So anyway, but the point is, look at shares.
You know what? When you hear the point is, when the point is, that generally speaking, I like to hit ENPs with that, okay? I like to hit ENPs with that when they come back and I say the point is. Generally speaking, I'm gonna go larger to be more actual correct with you guys. Generally hear people go off on tangents and they come back and say the point is. You're usually dealing with an informative type, okay? Because they know they're off on a fucking tangent somewhere off in fucking balloon land, okay? And they gotta come back to earth, okay? So, I mean, we can hit them for informative.
Share. So I was with my friend Jeremy, and I'm like, man, this thing, I can't understand it. Got 250,000 shares. He goes, I know, because he's like, Ty, I shared it with my friend. I'm like, why'd you share this? He's like, because I like tequila, and I wanted my friend to know that I'm on the right side of history. So I press that. So.
I heard a story that Vimeo was actually around before YouTube, and the reason why YouTube started kicking everyone's ass is because they had like more share buttons.
Yes, probably. But also, don't forget, for advanced entrepreneurs listening, M&A activity, mergers and acquisitions. Google acquired YouTube, I think in 08-ish, 07. And so you put the monster search engine behind you. In addition, Vimeo didn't have that classic M&A play. So sometimes things that roll up into bigger companies are the ones that Instagram. I remember when Instagram started, is like 2012. Kevin Systrom sold in the largest transaction. I remember even thinking, this Zuckerberg guy's crazy. He's dropping a bill for an app. It was $1 billion cash. In hindsight, it's the greatest business move of modern history. Instagram's worth, I think Facebook's market cap's been hovering $500 billion, close to $500 billion. For $1 billion, I would say 60% of Facebook's value is in Instagram. The second Instagram, if they didn't have Instagram, they would have been surpassed. They got WhatsApp, Facebook, and Insta. So for a bill, he probably made.
If they didn't have Facebook, they would be surpassed. Okay. I'm going to hit him for a hypothetical situation there.
250 bill. That's a good return.
Now, do you think Mark's the actual brainchild behind all that, or do you think he has a big team?
Anytime humans are arguing whether you are a lizard or a robot, you're a smart dude. And people think Zuckerberg's a lizard or a robot. I'm like, I would take that as a compliment. It's a superhuman power. People are all tricked by Avengers movies that the superheroes of the modern world are big, strong, tall, they stop beautiful. No, the superheroes are the people that seem to be another species. I'm not saying they're good. You could say they're the evil superheroes, but the superheroes, Zuckerberg, my theory on Facebook, Instagram, because it's lost power, is when Mark Zuckerberg was truly behind.
Theory. Okay, so hit him for abstract there. He's talking about a theory here. His theory. Abstract. Go back.
Team.
Anytime somebody calls you...
You see how the other guy's just pressing his ass? Bop, bop, bop. That's direct.
Anytime humans are arguing whether you are a lizard or a robot, you're a smart dude. And people think Zuckerberg's a lizard or a robot. I'm like, I would take that as a compliment. It's a superhuman power. People are all tricked by Avengers movies that the superheroes of the modern world are big, strong, tall, they stop beautiful. No, the superheroes are the people that seem to be another species. I'm not saying they're good. You could say they're the evil superheroes, but the superheroes, Zuckerberg, my theory on Facebook, Instagram, because it's lost power, is when Mark Zuckerberg was truly behind it. It was a beast of unfathomable. I know Tom from MySpace, which was before Facebook. He's actually in my 67th step.
Bro, he keep dropping names. I know Tom from MySpace.
Years ago, he's like, Tom, a big fan. Came over to my house. We should shoot basketball. He told me the exact story of when he met Mark Zuckerberg. MySpace 05 was in Alexa Site 1. It had more daily visits than Google in 05. Tom's like, man, I was on top of the world. I didn't listen to anybody. This young kid came up to me at a conference, said, hi, Tom, I know you're the king. I got this new thing called the Facebook. And but it's not going viral. It's not that interesting. And Tom said, I turned to him and said, of course not. You only allow one photo. Make it sexier. Allow photo albums. Tom told me that was a mistake to tell my competitor that, because Mark Zuckerberg, for whatever you think of him, he's a smart dude. He instantly put photo albums. And from that moment on, MySpace was going down and Facebook took off. So I think he's a genius. I think in the last 5 years, I mean, look, I have a friend made so much money.
Informative dude. This guy's talking his ass off.
He started becoming a DJ. That's when you know your friend made a lot of money. You're like, yo, what do you do? I collect art and a DJ. That means somebody put 100 mil in their bank account. Zuckerberg started doing jujitsu and MMA. That tells you he's checked out of Facebook. Trust me, he's all into the metaverse. And so Facebook's gone down because, as Ogilvy said, there's no statues to committees. There's statues to men or women, individuals. And when the individual...
But he just quoted another person, TEFI.
In an organization checks out, the organization checks out. Elon hasn't checked out. Like, since he bought X, I think it's a lot better platform. There's no statues to committees. There's statues. With Steve Jobs, they kicked Steve Jobs out of Apple. Big mistake. They brought in the...
Bro, look at all this fucking name dropping, bro. He be one of the guys that came to the club and be like, I know Billy, I know John, I know whatever. Y'all gotta let me up in here. He name dropping like that. Like he trying to get in the club or something. And we're security or something.
Oh, we got this Pepsi, Coca-Cola, genius CEO. He'll be better. We'll run Apple by a committee. We have a board. They kicked Steve Jobs out. Apple went down. Microsoft took over. They brought back the king, Steve Jobs, and it became the first $1 trillion company. So
Steve Jobs wasn't there when it was $1 trillion company. That was Tim Cook. When Steve Jobs left, it was what? I want to say it was like 300K. Or maybe between 300 and 400K, might be less than that. Let me verify that to make sure I don't nobody saying some shit. But let me look at that market cap. Let's look at that. Let's look at that market cap of. $350 billion. I knew it. Look at that, boy. I don't miss. I told you I'd be. Yeah, I don't miss. 350. Okay. Look at it now. So what is the current? What's current fucking market cap of fucking Apple? Okay. You put a damn ENTJ in there and you just watch it go up. What's the market cap? 2.6 trillion. Okay. You took that from 250, bro. That man does not get the credit he deserves. He does not. Okay. People be fucking sucking Steve Jobs' fucking dick. But look what Tim Cook has done. Took that bitch from 350 to 2.6 trillion. I mean, I think he can innovate a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you're getting the job done.
Nah, Zuckerberg's sharp. I don't think it was a committee. And I think he doesn't care anymore that much. He's off in Lululand. He's like metaverse. And he released Ray-Ban glasses that people use for AI. I'm totally bought into AI. But I'm like, why sunglasses? What if I'm inside or it's dark?
What if I'm inside and it's dark, abstract? We got in there.
So Zuckerberg, I think you eventually disconnect. But people forget the magic of Zuckerberg. I've been telling people the Western world decided to hate the guru and love the classroom. And that happened in the 1800s. The Western world switched educational models from the guru. You used to have in the tribes, if we go back far enough, there was the guru, there was the dad or the chief leaders like, yo, sons, I'm going to teach you how to hunt lions and you're going to come with me and I'm going to mentor you with the spear in the jungle. In the end of 1800s, the Germans introduced a classroom system where, no, we're going to lecture you and you're going to learn by listening. Well, humans don't learn by listening. How many people have you met that you tell stuff, they ignore you? Humans learn kinesthetically. And so what happened is,
I don't think that's true, Ty Lopez. I think you have people that, some people learn kinesthetically, some people learn through listening, some people learn through auditory. That's just how it works, bro. You can't just put all people in one group. I wonder what studies gonna quote for that shit.
America began to hate the guru. Mahatma Gandhi, I was reading his book, maybe the most influential person.
Dropping Mahatma Gandhi in another book, that's empirical knowledge, that's outside knowledge, that's TE.
And people don't realize the man who changed the world the most is Mahatma Gandhi in the last 100 years. Why? Because he changed India. And this year, India surpassed China as the most populous country in the world.
Talking about popularity here, TE.
And he changed it. They used to be under colonial rule. I was reading Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography. What does he say? He said, I believe in the power of the guru. I always had a guru in my life. Now, the modern world say, oh, fake guru, fake. I'm like, fuck that. The world needs gurus. And going back to Mark Zuckerberg, his magical trick on top of being a...
Now I want to ask you a question. He says Mahatma Gandhi was the most important person because India has just taken over China. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. I'm not fucking seeing that. Buddy needs some help. He needs some help. If China decided to invade India, they could, and they would destroy them very quickly. Hey, it is what it is, bro.
Sharp guy who caught trends early is he believed in the power of the guru. And he got a guru mentor who spoke into his life at the beginning, and the man's name was Steve Jobs. And so the greatest...
Bro, he name dropping so goddamn much. But I mean, my God, I told you, boy. Boy, you talking about... Boy, I don't think we've met somebody who's like this. I honestly don't think we met somebody who can TE name drop like this. If you know somebody who name drops like this, you just need to slap the shit out of them and tell them stop. Just stop. So we're going to hit them for informative as well. So with TEFI and informative, we are down to ISFP, INFP, ESFP, and ENFP. Just because he's TEFI and he's informative, he's giving a lot of extra information, beating around the bush, just being very descriptive with his knowledge. He's not very it's very open. It's not closed like a direct person would be. And he's TEFI. He's name dropping like no other person we have interviewed so far. So let's keep going. And he's initiating. He's changing the fucking topic here. I could hit his ass for that.
Creative in modern history, Steve Jobs taught the greatest robotic guy, logical guy, Zuckerberg. And the wealthiest person in modern history by age adjusted. Nobody.
I just really want to ask, did he verify any of this? Steve Jobs taught Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, what did he teach Mark Zuckerberg? Bro, that's vague as fuck. What did he teach him? Really? I'm asking that question. This guy, bro. My thing is, people love Ty Lopez, bro. But when I listen to Ty Lopez, I just be like, I mean, I can almost see it in fucking real time, the shit where he makes a mistake. It's just in real time I can see it that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Throw that shit away. That's absolutely wrong. That's right. That's somewhat right. Okay, let me dig more into that on my own. I would never take anything this man says serious.
Elon doesn't touch Zuckerberg. Buffett, I love the most, doesn't touch.
Look at that. He named Buffett. Now he loved this. He loved that. Come on, man.
Because what would you rather have? Would you rather be 33 and have 20 bill, or 50 and have 200 bill? If you age adjust it, Zuckerberg, I mean, having 10, 20 bill at sub 35.
Is that all he's got?
Well, now he's worth, like, I think he's up close. He's over 100 now. But I'm saying by that time, and so time is all you have. And so to be wealthy young is, you know, I remember once I used to live in Norway. I went out on a Tinder date with a girl. She looked at me and she goes, before I start this date, how much are you worth? And Norway and Scandinavia is very humble, so they were a very strange question. I'm thinking, what did I just meet? Who is this woman? She says, I said, why are you asking me that? Because I knew she wasn't a gold digger. She didn't give off those vibes. She goes, because I'm the richest woman in the world by age. She's like 23. She was before Kylie Jenner. She had inherited. She's like, I inherited my money. I don't. But she's like, a lot of guys are intimidated by my wealth. I'm like, I don't give a shit. She's a cool girl. But to be wealthy young.
All over tangent. He initiated that. It's like, come on, bro. Bro, no one cares. No one fucking cares.
It's way better. I mean, I lived in Beverly Hills. It's like, you got 95-year-old dudes getting out of their Ferrari. They finally made it. They got the Ferrari. They're like the walker. You know, they get out with the walker out of the Lambo first to go to the restaurant. And I'm thinking, by the time you're 90, you don't want a Lambo. My mentor, Joel Salatin, used to say,
dropping a mentor, TE. I mean, my God, my God. I mean, I will say this, right? Being a person that I am, me and Christian talked about this a lot. Dude, I already made over 6 figures. If I made $1 million, maybe a few things would change, but I am so like systematic and have been so adjusted to what I am. Not much will really change. I mean, if you buy a big ass mansion, dude, I'm already lazy enough. Some days I don't want to walk out of my bedroom to my kitchen. Imagine if I live in a fucking 10,000 square foot house. I'd be living in hell. So a lot of times people be talking about like, you know, you got to have this money at X amount of time. When it get to a certain point, bro, money doesn't really change like who you going to do or what you going to do. Like, yeah, it might be cool to like kick it with the yacht with the boys maybe once in a blue moon, but most of the time that yacht to be eating money in a fucking in a shipyard. Like, come on, bro.
Win at life for me, Ty, is when all my grandchildren are sitting around my feet arguing for my attention because they want to hang out with grandpa. By the time you're 90, you don't want to be rolling with the Lambo with hot girls. That's something you do when you're young. So, you know, Zuckerberg pulled off the ultimate hat trick. So did Andrew Carnegie. He was another sub 30-year-old.
Name dropping again, Andrew Carnegie. Now, let me look smart by just name dropping the piss out of everyone. I mean, my God. Like I said, this is a guy at the bar trying to get in. I know James, Jimmy, your owner, your mama, your sister, your brother. Let me in the bar.
Mega wealthy guy.
Dude, how do you know all this shit and learn all this shit? Like every time you talk, mostly I'm always interrupting, but when you're talking, I'm just listening. I keep thinking like, where do you come up with all this shit? You must have actually read all those books.
He's a TI user.
I read until they meet me. Then they're like, you may have read a couple books.
But I mean, you must have, because you know facts and stats out the yin yang.
Yeah, I read a lot, man. I was reading that too.
Like who the fuck knew, you know, France got occupied in 1914?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know that?
I'm half German.
And then, you know, I could bring up anything. You know, what did you think of Napoleon Bonaparte? You know, he was an interesting guy. Most people think, but in reality...
Is that how my voice sounds?
No.
Okay.
But it's just like, I always think, after I'm talking to you, I'm like, fuck, I got to go read. I just got to read. But when I read, I don't retain for some reason. And I wrote some notes that I wanted to ask you. And that's number one, how do you decide what to read? So you have all the...
So he's a TI user because he's not retaining it. And the reason why he's not is because fucking a TI user, not a T user. As a T user, when I read a book, I absorb all the information, and then over time, I spit out the shit that's not logical consistency at all. Like over time, it's like boo, 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 boo. But I've got to a point to where my TI is strong enough to when you say something, or somebody could say maybe your TE is not so strong, but when you say something incorrect, I'm on your ass.
These interesting facts.
Read less books, but read them more often. Read less books. Is that a bomb? I like it. I dropped a bomb, baby.
Well,
My
we can't
first
do it
bomb.
every time, otherwise it'll just be bomb noises the whole episode.
No, it's good. I actually like that from mom. Like, Ty, that's good advice for yourself. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, I need to say that. I need to do this more. But no, I read the same books a lot. You'd be surprised. I do go broad on books, but in general, most books suck. Most books.
So you're talking about empirical information. Books are empirical information. He's not talking about a logical framework here that he has inside of himself. A logical framework would be TI, but he keeps referring to TE.
They got to fill up a whole set. The publisher says, yo, I need a 250-page book, so fill it up. They got one good concept in it. So I do scan a lot of modern books. I'll find the
Concepts, that's abstract. Concepts, looking for the concept. Abstract, big picture.
good chapter, read it. But like where I go deep is I got a set of 100 books that I swap out a little bit, but I put it up
got
on
that list somewhere?
TyLopez.com/books.
Talking about a list, TE. It's TE.
One of the top lists since I put it up in 2014.
Ty Lopez.
One of the top list. Let me pat myself on the back, TE5. My God.
.com/books.
And that's your top 100?
Yeah, it's a free page and it's in priority order.
I got you on video saying my book was the best book you ever read.
There you go.
So it better be in that
Take that
list.
as AI. You can manipulate voices now. You can have me say, I've wiped out all other books.
Is that legal? Because I was watching the other day and I thought, dude, I could get like any celebrity AI version to brag about my company. Could they stop me for that?
So I actually have a guy who built AI technology and he has gone through the legal on this, and his lawyers are like, it's gray area. They can argue both sides. If it's public domain voice, maybe you can do it. I think you'll get attacked if you take like President Biden or Trump's voice and say Dropping Bombs is the best podcast. You're probably going to get a letter. But sometimes you might be able to do it before they do a letter. I had a friend, he moved, his dad was an immigrant from the Middle East, from Afghanistan, poor American dream story. Came to America, started gas stations in the state of New York. Wasn't
We're
making
hitting it for initiating here. Okay. We're hitting it for initiating. We are hitting him for initiating because he is changing the topic and initiating new things this entire time. So we're down to ESFP and ENFP, and it's clear as day this guy's not pragmatic. He's not concrete. Okay, he is interest based, but they're also progression. Okay, so we got that there, and I swear to God, we got to do this for him, bro. I ain't never seen nobody this bad. Like, bro's got to get all of this. Bro's got to get all, like, just beat the shit out of this. Like, I'll give him that. People think he's smarter than he is. If you bust his ass, ask him the question, why? Why do you, what's going on here? What's the principles there? What's the underlying principles? I'm not understanding.
making any money.
Can you clarify that?
True American spirit. He changed the name of his gas stations to 7-Even instead of 7-Eleven. He changed, like in Coming to America, is like the Big Mac is the Big Mick.
What he does is he just overwhelms people with so much TE that they just have to just like back down. You just have to back down because he's overwhelming you with so much TE.
So he changed 7-Eleven to the same color sign. He took the L out, basically, and made it 7-Even. All of a sudden, sales shot up because people would drive in. Instead of like the Slurpee, he had the Slurp or something. And he said his dad was worth $20 million before he got a letter from 7-Eleven cease and desist. So you might be able to pull off all these voices. I'm not encouraging you to do it, but
that's a possibility there. I'm here for abstract again.
Xbox is on their game. When I started Lightspeed, this was way back 20 some years ago. There was no training systems out there, number one. Definitely not interactive and all the shit mine does. And I started sending out to car dealerships.
I think he's STP.
campaigns that basically said it's like an Xbox for training.
Yes.
Dude, 3 days afterwards, I got a cease and desist by Microsoft. I'm
Really?
like, how in the hell did they even know I did it? Number one.
You could have fought back.
Well, I didn't because I was
would've-
broke and brand new. Microsoft, I ain't going against Microsoft.
Yeah, but sometimes the mighty like that, you can reverse engineer it by going public and saying,
You could do this. You possibilities. You could do this. That's NE, dude. NESI. You could do this. You could do this. There's some possibilities. Any.
I'm a little entrepreneur and I'm being bullied for telling the truth. It's like Xbox. I put a disclaimer on the bottom that says not endorsed by Microsoft. Why can't I say it's like Xbox? You would have probably flipped the switch on Microsoft, could have countersued them if they try to talk crap to you. Sometimes when you're weak, that's like the art of war. When strong, appear weak, you know?
Now,
Reverence, art of war, TE some more. Hypothetical situation, what he could have done. Come on.
yeah, but I was weak.
When
so I
weak
tried to
appear
appear
strong,
strong.
I would agree that what he says could work, okay? So, but you're going to have to be bold. You're going to have to be bold. A lot of times, you have to be bold.
Yeah.
That's right. Like those birds, little birds, they get attacked, they put their wings up, you know?
So, dude, do you have a cheat code to learning, or is that goes back to read less books just more often?
Well, I think you have to know how you learn. About 10% of people can learn by listening.
10% of people can learn from listening. So he's dropping a stat.
I don't know why, but I was born in that I don't mind learning audio. In fact, here's a real cheat code. They say there's 3 types of learning: audio, visual, kinesthetic.
They say. Didn't I say that earlier?
Train yourself to be good at all 3. But
you see how he contradicted himself? You see how he contradicted himself? Like, now he's saying there's 3, but then earlier he said there was 1. Bro, I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
know your dominant form. 80% of people are kinesthetic, or 60%. Kinesthetics means like you want to learn to...
Boy, was it 60 or 80? I don't fucking know, bro. I mean, come on.
Build a house. I say to you, I build homes. Here's a hammer. Follow me around for a couple weeks. You're gonna get good. That's old school, and that's what I said. The East does kinesthetic. The guru, you follow the guru who teaches you how to breathe, teaches you how to think. America went the audio way, which only works on 10% of people. That's why the school system is spitting out. You know, a crazy stat that people don't believe me. I gotta Google it in front of them.
Man, let me Google that shit, bro. This motherfucker, bro. I would probably say school's a mixture of auditory and visual. This fucking guy here.
What do you think are the 3 big expenses that
What do you think, TE?
governments and people spend globally every year? What do you think is the number one spend?
From governments?
Yeah, in people. What do we spend in the world the most on, or almost the most on?
Taxes.
Okay. But like what industry?
Oh, no idea.
Healthcare is 9 trillion. So 9,000 billion. Okay. What do you think is another big government expenditure? We talk a lot about it in America. It's like your billboard dropping bombs.
Transportation.
Transportation. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's it. But
He's initiating all this shit.
military. Everybody thinks military.
Isn't that number one?
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. And I thought it too, till like you look at the stats. America,
Talking about what everybody thinks. TE.
the world spends only $2 trillion on military.
See, how the fuck do you know this?
$5 trillion on education.
At some point you said, hey, how much do we spend on military?
Bro, I mean, I think you got to verify whatever he says.
Yeah, I was a fascinating thing because we spend $5 trillion on education and nobody knows anything. People in America are dumber than ever. Is like number.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because they adopted the wrong system in the 1800s. People don't learn audio. A few
Talking about systems.
people. So I guarantee you, the wealthiest men in the world, 10 men, 10 white men, people, it's not all white men because you got 2 Indian guys, have as much wealth as the bottom 4 billion. So half the world wealth is less than 12 dudes. I have a hypothesis on why that is. People say capitalism is evil.
Hypothesis. We got to strike again. Man, I don't trust what he's fucking saying with the whole math here, with who's fucking kinesthetic versus who's fucking. Because I'm seeing right here that there's a large chunk of people that are visual learners. I am an auditory learner. I learn auditorily. That's why I love audiobooks. But I'm also pretty good visually. Kinesthetically, I can be pretty well as well. I'd say I'm overall pretty fucking good. But I learn best probably auditorily. But that's me.
Well, that's not a good
But I'm calling his bullshit on his stats here. I'm calling bullshit on it.
Explanation, because capitalism may be broke, but it's less broke than any other system we have. We've tried socialism, it doesn't work. Communism really doesn't.
We're trying socialism right now.
Yeah,
aren't
we're
we?
trying socialism. Yeah.
Trying it again.
Yeah, but America's trying to dumb. If you're going to do socialism, do Sweden. That one at least kind of works. America's adopting the shitty version of socialism, capitalism. But it's not capitalism that made those 10 men so wealthy. It's technology. If you have a technological edge and you get in early, technology never gets tired. So when Microsoft, he started building, Microsoft, Steve Ballmer, Paul Allen, and Bill Gates. They came together. They figured out, they bought software, by the way, M&A deal. They didn't come up with DOS. They bought it for 70 G's. And that took Bill Gates to the 20 time in a row richest.
I mean, he said that, what did he say? Sweden was socialist. When I looked up Sweden and socialist, I don't think they're actually socialists, dude. Like, so I'm talking about. Like, these niggas talk, you got to verify this shit. Like, and it's like, oh, every time you talk to them, it's like, oh, I gotta, verify your stuff. They may be lean more on the socialistic standpoint, but they're not a socialist country. Okay, like they may lean more towards those with the agendas they have, or things like that, or laws, or whatever, or policies and things like that. But they're not a socialist fucking company, bro. I mean, country. God damn, this fucking guy, bro. I'm done here. He's
Man in the world,
be
because technology never sleeps. So he built Excel. I know Steve Ballmer. He told me the story. He's like, yeah, I built Excel.
I know Steve Ballmer, name dropping, like, bro, come on. He's ENP. I'm done here, bro. I'm like, when I'm around people like that, I'm like, yo, slow down. Like him, when you're dealing with people like that, you're like, slow down. And you got to verify what the fuck they're saying, because, they want to sound smart, but in actuality, we found that a lot of shit that he says is not true. and he's just dropping facts. He's just dropping statistics. Like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, come on, like you got to cut it out. But he's ENFP. Okay, ENFP. I'm going to hit him. Enneagram. Wow. I'm in him with 3W2, man, because he gives me the classical 3W2. That's gonna be the social one. The big house, the big car, the big this, the big that, the Range Rover, the lot, the yacht, all this. So I'm gonna hit him with social, 3W2, ENFP, and I'm gonna hit him SO. This really doesn't matter. I'm gonna hit him with SP. Okay, SOSP. Subset wise, I'm gonna call him creative. And I'm gonna give it to him. He's a prodigy for it, ENFP. Okay, if you're an ENFP, you should be following his blueprint. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. It works. It literally works. Overwhelm people with statistics, in books and credible names, and people will literally usually back the fuck down. But you gotta know what you're dealing with here. So ENFPs are initiating to abstract their interests. They are affiliative. They're about doing what's right. Okay, they're not about breaking rules or anything like that. They're not a contrarian, anything like that. He's informative. He's giving extra information. We break down all these metrics in our how to type videos. He's obviously TEFI. I've never gotten that many points of TEFI in my life on all of the typings. I think the highest we had before that was like Donald J. Trump. He was name dropping and shit like that. Well, not name dropping, but just stat dropping. This guy name drops like he is getting into a bar or something. So we got him for SINE. Okay, ENFP. So ENFP 3W2 social /SP. He's gonna be the creative variant. If I'm looking at the Dario Nardi perspective of an ENFP, and I'm gonna give him prodigy level. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about Ty Lopez, but yeah, he's a prodigy when it comes to ENFPs. It is what it is. But this is Mongolian Mindset, and we are out.